There are certain evenings in Canada when the world feels strangely quiet. Not peaceful, quiet in a heavier way. When the streets are dim, the sky hangs low, and even the air feels like it's holding its breath. On nights like that, the heart tends to replay the questions it's been trying to ignore. What if I'm not enough? What if life doesn't get better? What if I'm just pretending to be okay? What if I'm more tired than I admit? Our character, someone not unlike many of us, sat alone near the window of their small apartment, listening to the hum of distant traffic, the faint whistle of winter wind, and the slow rhythm of their own breath. It had been a long week, the kind that leaves you emotionally thin and spiritually quiet. They opened their Bible to John 14 almost out of instinct, hoping for something, anything, to ground them again. The first words felt like they were written directly to them. Do not let your hearts be troubled. John 14:1. They stopped. Their heart was troubled, full of questions, full of pressure, full of quiet fears they never said aloud. But Jesus wasn't commanding in a harsh way. His voice in the text sounded like calm hands placed on shaking shoulders. Don't let your heart drown in this. Lift your eyes. I'm here. Then Jesus continued, you believe in God. Believe also in me. In Canada's culture of independence, figure it out yourself, manage your stress, handle your responsibilities. Believing often feels like weakness. But Jesus wasn't asking them to believe harder. He was inviting them to trust deeper. And then came a sentence that gently rewired something inside them. My Father's house has many rooms. I go to prepare a place for you. A place prepared for you. In a world where belonging feels fragile, friendships shift, family complicates, workplaces become uncertain, Jesus says, there is a place where you will always belong. I'm making room for you. I want you with me. Our character closed their eyes for a moment, letting those words warm the colder places inside them. But then Thomas asked the question every confused soul wants to ask. Lord, we don't know where you are going. How can we know the way? And Jesus answered in a way that would shape human history. I am the way and the truth and the life. Our character felt those words like a soft but steady heartbeat. The way. Not a map, not a list, not a formula. A person. The truth. Not an argument, not a theory, not an emotion. A person. The life. Not a feeling, not a result. A person. Every path that felt uncertain suddenly had an anchor. As they kept reading, Philip's longing echoed their own. Lord, show us the Father. Show us someone steady. Show us someone who doesn't leave. Show us someone who knows what to do with our fear. Jesus replied, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. In that moment, our character realized, if you want to know what God is like, you look at Jesus. Gentle, present, truthful, patient, healing, near. Then Jesus made a promise that felt almost too good to take in. I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate, the Spirit of truth, to be with you forever. Forever. Not for a season, not when you feel strong. Forever. On a night when our character felt alone, overwhelmed, and quietly afraid, Jesus whispered a different reality. You are never spiritually alone again. The Spirit is with you, in you, near you, leading you even when you don't feel it. Then came one of the most tender lines in all of Scripture. I will not leave you as orphans. Our character felt their chest tighten, because some part of them did feel orphaned, emotionally, spiritually, relationally. Not abandoned by people, but worn out by life. But Jesus said, "I won't leave you without guidance. I won't leave you without comfort. I won't leave you trying to hold everything alone." And then the promise that wrapped around their heart like a warm blanket on a cold night. "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. Do not be afraid." Not the world's kind of peace. Temporary, fragile, dependent on circumstances. But Jesus' peace, steady, deep, unbreakable,
Can't believe they said
rooted
that.
in his presence.
Turn the music up.
And for the first time that week,
Keep it going.
the troubled heart inside them began to rest. Snow fell again the
Our
next
character
morning.
walked outside
Light,
with a warm
quiet,
drink in hand,
almost gentle.
crunching through fresh snow.
The
The
kind
air
of
was
snowfall
crisp.
that makes the whole
Their heart
neighborhood
felt
look
steadier
softer.
after the words from John
Like God
14.
placed a white blanket
But a
over the
question
city just to
still
slow
lingered.
everything
How do
down.
I stay in that peace?
Our character walked outside with a warm drink in hand, crunching through fresh snow. The air was crisp, the cold biting but refreshing, as if the world had been reset overnight. Their heart felt steadier after the words from John 14.
How do I remain
But a
close
question
to Jesus
still lingered.
when life keeps pulling me in every
How do I
direction?
stay in that peace?
That's when they open John
How do I
15.
keep my soul
I
from
am
running
the
back
true
into
vine,
anxiety?
and my Father is the gardener.
How do I remain close to Jesus
character
when
stopped
life keeps
walking
pulling
for a
me in
moment.
every direction?
Outside, the snowfall thickened.
That's when they opened
a
John
soft
15.
white blanket covered the street.
And Jesus
world
answered
looked
with an image
untouched,
as simple as a winter
peaceful.
branch.
A vine-branch
I am the true
relationship,
vine,
rooted, connected,
and my Father
dependent,
is the gardener.
alive. He continued,
Our character stopped
Every-
walking for a moment. Jesus wasn't giving them a strategy for inner peace. He was giving them a relationship, a vine branch relationship, rooted, connected, dependent, alive. He continued, every branch that bears fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. Pruning. The word landed with weight. Because pruning doesn't feel gentle. It feels like loss. It feels like endings. It feels like the parts of your life you wanted to keep being taken away. Our character thought about the past year. Doors that closed, friendships that drifted, plans that didn't work, moments where God felt silent. But maybe those weren't punishments. Maybe they were pruning moments, removing what drained life so something deeper could grow. Then Jesus said the words that would become the heartbeat of John 15. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. Not try harder, be stronger, fix yourself. Just remain, stay connected, stay close, stay open, stay rooted. Our character exhaled, their breath turning to mist in the cold air. Then Jesus made it plain. No branch can bear fruit by itself. In Canada's independent culture,
Then Jesus
that
made it
truth
plain.
cuts deep.
No branch
We try to
can
produce
bear
emotional
fruit by
resilience,
itself.
joy, patience, and strength on our own. Through routines, willpower, productivity, self-help. But Jesus says, fruit doesn't grow from effort. Fruit grows from connection. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me, you will bear much fruit. Not might, not maybe. Not if you have enough discipline, you will. Because fruit is a byproduct of abiding. The more connected you are to Jesus, the more natural joy becomes. The more natural peace becomes. The more natural love becomes. It flows from
The more
Him
natural
into you.
peace becomes. The more
Our character
natural
kept
love
walking,
becomes.
snowflakes
It
landing
flows
softly
from
on their
Him
coat,
into you.
feeling a warmth the winter air couldn't take away. Then Jesus said something even more intimate. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. They paused mid-step. The love Jesus receives from the Father, perfect, overflowing, eternal, is the same love He pours into them. Not a reduced version, not a conditional version. The same love. Remaining in Jesus isn't about performance. It's about staying under the waterfall of His love, letting it wash over every insecure thought, every anxious moment, every lonely night, every moment of self-doubt. Then came a promise that lifted them completely. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Complete joy. A joy not dependent on circumstances, weather, finances, relationships, or achievements, but anchored in love and connection. Then Jesus said the words that define the Christian life. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Not love from emptiness, not love from fear, but love from abundance, from the overflow of remaining in Him. And then the line that still resonates through centuries. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Our characters stopped again. For the first time, they realized Jesus didn't just call them servants. He called them friends. I no longer call you servants. I have called you friends. Friends, chosen, known, loved, invited into His heart. And in that snowy morning, walking alone in quiet Canadian winter, they felt the truth settle deeply. To remain in Jesus is to remain in love. To remain in love is to remain in joy. And to remain in joy is to remain in Him. As our character walked deeper down the snowy path, the quiet beauty of the morning felt peaceful. But not all parts of life were peaceful. They knew this. Everyone knows this. Even Jesus knew this. And in John 15, after speaking about love, friendship, and joy, Jesus says something that seems almost opposite. If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. Our character paused. The snow swirled lightly around them, soft, but obscuring their view. And for a moment, that snowfall felt like a picture of life. Beautiful at times, cold at times, and often confusing. They thought about the feeling of not fitting in, feeling misunderstood, moments when choosing faith made them feel different, out of place in conversations, workplaces, even friendships. Jesus understood all of it. As it is, you do not belong to the world. That is why the world hates you. Not because you failed, not because you're wrong, but because you belong to a different kingdom. That sentence felt strangely comforting. Maybe being different wasn't a flaw. Maybe it was a sign of belonging to Him. Jesus continues, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also. Our character didn't take this as a threat, but as preparation. A compassionate father explaining the weather before sending his child into the storm. And then Jesus gives another promise. When the advocate comes, he will testify about me. And you also must testify. The Spirit doesn't just comfort. He also gives courage to keep going, to keep loving, to keep shining, even when the world grows darker. The path curved, leading to a small clearing where snow-covered benches sat empty. Our character brushed the snow off one bench and sat, listening to the muted winter silence. They opened John 16. Jesus begins with honesty. All this I have told you so that you will not fall away, not to scare them, but to steady them. Then Jesus describes what his disciples would face: misunderstanding, hostility, rejection. Our character knew these weren't just ancient troubles. They're the quiet battles believers still face today. But then Jesus shifts. Very truly, I tell you, it is for your good that I am going away. For your good. Our character felt tension rise. How could losing Jesus possibly be good? Jesus answers, unless I go away, the advocate will not come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. In other words, the Spirit in you will be even better than Jesus beside you. That truth settled like warmth spreading through cold fingers. Then Jesus describes the Spirit's gentle, powerful work, When He, the Spirit of truth, comes, He will guide you into all the truth. Not push, not pressure. Guide, like a hand on your shoulder, steadying, leading, illuminating. Our character realized something. Every moment they'd felt nudged toward forgiveness, clarity, honesty, healing. That was the Spirit. Every time they felt comfort in prayer, the Spirit. Every time a verse suddenly made sense, the Spirit. Every time a decision needed wisdom, the Spirit. Then Jesus speaks into suffering with a metaphor so human it reaches any heart. You will weep and mourn, but your grief will turn to joy. Not replaced, not erased, transformed. He adds, a woman giving birth has pain, but when her baby is born, she forgets the anguish because of her joy. Our character looked down at the snow-covered ground, feeling those words deeply. There were seasons in their life that hurt, yet somehow produced strength, compassion, deeper roots. Pain had created space where joy could enter. Jesus continues, now is your time of grief, but I will see you again, and no one will take away your joy. The joy no one can steal. Not circumstances, not fear, not stress, not failure, not loneliness, not even your own emotions. Finally, Jesus ends with one of the most hopeful declarations in Scripture. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Our character closed their eyes, snow falling around them, breath fogging in the cold air, heart steadying, soul filling. Life will bring trouble, but Jesus brings victory. The Spirit brings truth. The Father brings love. And together, they bring a peace that no Canadian winter can freeze. John 16. The Father's love, the promise of help, and the unshakable victory of Christ. The sun had begun to rise higher now, spreading a pale gold light across the snow-blanketed clearing. Our character stood from the bench, brushing off the snow and letting the warmth of the morning touch their face. Something inside them felt different. Not fixed instantly, but steadier, deeper, anchored. They kept reading the last part of John 16 as they walked slowly along the trail. Jesus says, "The Father Himself loves you because you have loved me and have believed that I came from God." Our character stopped. The Father Himself loves you, not tolerates you, not puts up with you, not watches you from a distance, loves you. In a world where love often feels conditional, performance-based, fragile, easily shaken, Jesus offers a different truth. The Father's love is not fragile. It doesn't wobble when you are weak. It doesn't disappear on hard days. It doesn't shrink when you doubt. It doesn't fade with emotional seasons. It is steady, present, unchanging, unforced. And they whispered into the cold air, "Thank you. I needed that." Then the disciples respond to Jesus. "Now you are speaking clearly." They finally begin to understand. But Jesus knows understanding doesn't mean strength. So He tells them something painfully honest. A time is coming, and in fact has come, when you will be scattered, each to your own home. Our character felt those words in their bones. Because we've all lived through seasons of scattering. Seasons where community thins and friends drift, and family grows distant, and faith feels lonely, and life feels like a series of private battles no one sees. Jesus continues, "You will leave me all alone. Yet I am not alone, for my Father is with me." This time, the words didn't sound like correction, but invitation. Even when people fail you, the Father will not leave you. Even when you don't feel strong, the Father is with you. Even when your heart shakes, the Father is with you. Even when you walk through dark valleys, the Father walks beside you. And then Jesus ends his long, gentle teaching with the words that our character would carry for the rest of their life. Words strong enough to shape any soul in any season. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace.
The wind
Not peace
rustled the
from
branches
circumstances.
overhead, sending soft
Not peace from
dustings of snow.
control, not peace from escape. Peace in him. He continues, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." The wind rustled the branches overhead, sending soft dustings of snow to the ground like quiet applause. Our character breathed deeply, letting the reality wash through them. Trouble is real, but Jesus' victory is more real. Pain is real, but joy is promised. Fear is real, but peace is given. Weakness is real, but the Spirit empowers. Loneliness is real, but the Father loves. And suddenly, the entire arc of John 14 to 15:16 made sense. Peace for your troubled heart, joy for your weary soul, power for your uncertain path. Peace because Jesus is with you, joy because you are loved, power because the Spirit lives in you. As our character reached the end of the snowy trail, they felt it. Not the absence of struggle, but the presence of someone stronger. Not instant clarity, but steady guidance. Not emotional perfection, but spiritual grounding. They closed their Bible, held it close, and whispered, "Jesus, thank you for peace. Thank you for joy. Thank you for strength. Help me remain in you." And as they walked back toward home, the winter sun rising brighter behind them, one truth echoed through their spirit, simple and strong. He has overcome the world, and he will carry you through yours. Which promise from John 14 to 16 spoke to you most today? Was it the peace Jesus gives? The call to remain in my love? The friendship he offers? Or the hope in, I have overcome the world? Share your heart below. Your reflection may be the comfort someone else needs today.